Welcome back to the Radiant You podcast. I'm your host, Lisa Cole, and today we're entering one of the most energetically powerful chapters of this entire book study. If you're at home, grab your journal, your workbook, and something warm to sip. And if you're driving or walking, let your shoulders soften and let this episode meet you exactly where you are. Today's conversation asks you to look at 3 areas where many of us lose the most energy without even realizing it: influence, rescuing, and supporting others in ways that actually help instead of hurt. This is the heart of Refocus and Recreate, the radiant pillar that helps you shift out of old patterns and recreate the ones that feel aligned, healthy, and freeing. Because sometimes the most loving thing we can do is step back, refocus our role, and recreate a healthier dynamic. Let's begin. We are in chapter 15. Unlock the power of your influence. Mel opens this chapter with a truth most of us forget. You have more influence than you think, but not in the ways that you think you have it. Influence isn't about control, pressure, convincing, or fixing. It's not about getting people to do what you want. True influence is energy, it's presence, it's example, it's consistency. On page 185, Mel writes, people are influenced not by what you tell them to do, but by how you live. I often share with my clients, you are the example of what you want to see. Think about that. How many times have you tried to get someone to change, to see something your way, to make a different choice, to adopt a habit you know would help them? And how often does it work? Exactly. Because the real truth is this: people respond to who you are, not what you demand. People rise when they feel inspired, not pressured. Mel explains that your influence radiates from your example, your energy, your boundaries, your choices, your alignment. This is where refocus and recreate begins. Refocus your energy away from controlling others. Recreate a dynamic where your influence is rooted in how you show up. Mel says that when you live in alignment with your own values, others naturally recalibrate around you. It's not force, it's resonance. And it's one of the most powerful shifts you can make. Chapter 16, that the more you rescue, the more they sink. This chapter hits hard and lovingly. Mel begins with the truth many of us don't want to hear. The more you rescue people, the more they sink. Not because you don't care, not because you're doing something wrong, but because rescuing removes the very struggle that would have built their strength. So many of us have lived in rescuer mode, stepping in before asked, solving before listening, fixing because watching someone struggle hurts, over-functioning to keep the peace, carrying emotional loads that aren't ours. On page 191, Mel writes, the reality is people only change when they feel like changing, not when you want them to, not when you explain it perfectly, not when you're right. And she continues, it doesn't matter how valid your reasons are. It doesn't matter that you're right that they should change. Then she names the fundamental law of human behavior. Pressure creates resistance. Choice creates possibility. On page 192, she says, when you push someone, it only makes them push back. Why? Because human beings need autonomy. They need to feel in control of their decisions. This is where Mel drops one of the most freeing lines in this chapter. The most loving thing you can do is stop pressuring them and let them be. Page 195. Because rescuing isn't love. It's fear disguised as love. Fear that they won't be okay. Fear that you'll lose them. Fear that their struggle will reflect on you. Fear that things won't turn out the way you want. But rescuing steals the very growth that they need. Whew. So Mel teaches, let adults be adults. Let people feel the weight of their choices. Consequences. Natural consequences. Let their struggle strengthen them. Let them rise. Your job is not to fix. Your job is to stand in your own worth, your own clarity, and your own alignment. This is how you refocus, recreate your role in someone else's journey. Chapter 17 is how to provide support the right way. And in this chapter, Mel teaches the science of change and why our attempts to help often backfire. She explains 3 truths. Truth number 1, adults only change when they feel like it. Motivation must come from within. Your pressure delays change. It does not create it. Truth number 2, humans are wired to move toward what feels good. Support that feels shaming, corrective, or controlling shuts people down. Support that feels encouraging and spacious opens people up. Truth number 3, every person thinks they're the exception. This is why telling someone you're doing it wrong rarely lands. People need to arrive at insight, not be pushed into it. Arrive, not pushed. Mel ends the chapter with a powerful conclusion. You can't motivate someone to change, but you can inspire them to change and even make them believe it was their own idea. Page 197. So how do you support someone without rescuing? You shift from fixing to listening, pushing to witnessing, advising to asking, rescuing to respecting, and you allow them to take responsibility for their choices. This is the heart of healthy support. Offer presence, not pressure. Offer an encouragement, not control. Offer space, not solutions. Offer belief, not rescue. When you support someone the right way, they rise. Not because you carried them, but because you believed they could carry themselves. Radiant connection here with our refocus and recreate. This episode is guided entirely by that refocus and recreate, because these chapters are all about shifting old patterns and rebuilding healthy ones. Refocus your energy away from managing, fixing, or rescuing. Refocus your attention back to your own alignment. Refocus your pressure to presence. Refocus your controlling outcomes to inspiring possibility. Refocus your worth so it isn't tied to being needed. Recreate. Recreate your role in relationships. Recreate healthier dynamics. Recreate support that empowers instead of enabling. Recreate boundaries that protect your space and your peace. Recreate your inner energy so that your worth isn't drained by overfunctioning. Because releasing old patterns and recreating new ones is how we claim our radiance. I just love the summary of all of that. Right there. Because releasing old patterns and recreating new ones is how we reclaim our radiance. Thank you, radiant friends, for walking through chapters 15, 16, and 17 with me. Go back and read them, highlight them, write in the margins. Let me know what you think. These chapters change lives because they free your energy. They realign your relationships and remind you of your true worth. And remember, you cannot save people from their own journey. You cannot force anyone to rise, but you can rise yourself. You cannot change people, but your radiance can inspire them. You cannot walk their path, but you can honor your own. Here's your radiant reminder for this episode. You are allowed to refocus your energy and recreate the life, relationships, and patterns that honor your worth. Let them rise. Let them learn. Let them choose. And let you be radiant. I'll meet you right back here for episode 10, our final chapters of the season. We'll be covering chapters 18, 19, 20, and the conclusion of the Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. Until then, shine your light.